In this video, we are going to reveal new information about the red-hair pirate Zoros Father and the fact that Doflamingo is now, for reasons, an apple. Delicious mingo fruit. Hello and welcome to the Grand Line Review, your source for everything One Piece. My name is Liam, and mingo or not, apples are indeed my favorite fruit. I'm a big fan of, the crunch. But today we are here to examine all of the new information furiously dumped upon our unsuspecting mind brains from the SBS of Volume 101. And if you don't know what an SBS is, well, they are these little bonus pages in manga volumes where Oda gets asked various questions by various readers. And more often than not, these sections reveal a lot of integral information that doesn't seem to find its way into the actual series, and today is no exception. First, it's time to give away a present, because for every video this holiday month, we will be giving away a delightful One Piece based gift to a random subscriber. And today's gift is a One Piece Volume 100 collector set thing. I don't know if it has an actual name, that's just what I've decided to call it. This was a special package put together containing the monumental Volume 100, but also a custom printed One Piece newspaper and some special stickers. And if you'd like to win this series of print media, then you just need to do two things. Firstly, subscribe or be subscribed to the channel, and secondly, leave a comment answering the following question. What number between 1 and 100 am I thinking of, and why am I thinking it? And that is legit it. The winner will be announced in our community section, so go ahead, do the thing, and win the stuff. Alright though, let us begin with the color red. Our first question comes from a reader inquiring about the red hair pirates, and more specifically the extended forces that we aren't aware of. To which Oda responds, including the subordinate crews, the red hair pirates are now a huge team. People who appeared at the Summit War with the Doom are the current executives, and they know Luffy. So a lot of these, quote, current executives are people that we've known since chapter 1, however it's taken well over 1,000 chapters to give most of them names. But I am now proud to introduce you to Lime Juice, Bonk Punch, Monster, Building Snake, Hongo, and Howling Gab. And I just want to emphasize that this is not a joke. Especially Lime Juice and Bonk Punch, these are real names of real fictional pirates. It should also be noted that Rockstar is mentioned in this answer, however he is not an executive, which means that in terms of raw hierarchy, Monster, the monkey, holds a higher ranking within the Red Hair Pirates than Rockstar. Probably the weirdest name in the bunch though is Building Snake. This is just what happens when you're on a tight deadline. You open the dictionary and pick out two English words at random. The building and snake. Yeah, sure that works. And it actually reminds me a lot of names in Hunter x Hunter, such as my all-time favorite character, Stick Dinner. But now, let's reveal Zoro's father, maybe. Question. Lord Eiichiro Oda, I have read chapter 1024 and I'm deeply intrigued. Is the person who called himself so-and-so the father of Mr. Zoro? And I should point out that this next answer will contain spoilers for anime-only watchers, so if you don't want to be spoiled, then you can skip to this time, but for everyone else, let's do the thing. Oda. I got a lot of questions about so-and-so. It's kind of rude to reveal it since the person we're talking about decided to hide it, but since a lot of you are asking, I shall formally introduce them. The Daimyo of Ringo, Shimotsuki Ushimaru. The Daimyo of Kibi, Fugetsu Omusubi. And the Daimyo of Udon, Uzuki Tempura. So the first part of this answer is just confirming what was pretty clearly laid down in front of us. That the main samurai Yamato met as a child is indeed Ushimaru, but something that caught me off guard is the high significance of the other two. I never really thought about them too much, but the fact that they're both daimyo as well makes a lot of sense, and it further speaks to the raw power of this trio. Quite tragic though, because their territories, Kibi and Udon respectively, would be the ones disproportionately plunged into despair by Orochi and the Beast Pirates. So knowing their backgrounds to me makes their final charge even more heartfelt. But Oda continues. After the death of Odin, all of the regions rose up to take down Orochi, but they were defeated by the Beast Pirates. Shimotsuki Ushimaru and Onimaru, the fox who stole Shusui from Zoro, was a famous duo. There was originally going to be a scene where Onimaru was shocked by the appearance of Zoro, who looks identical to a young Ushimaru, but that would have just made things a bit too complicated, so it got cut. Besides, it might not even be brought up in the manga at all. And alright, there is a lot to take in there, but I'm glad that Oda is addressing a question that I've had for quite some time. Regardless of how they're related, which will be answered shortly, Zoro and Ushimaru look incredibly similar to each other to say the least, and a carbon copy to say the most. And ever since finding that out, I've been wondering why Onimaru didn't catch on to that. But as it turns out, he was originally supposed to pick up on it, however it was removed, and we can take a decent guess as to why, because Oda then finally says, anyway, I'll answer your question. Ushimaru is not Zoro's dad. In fact, these three characters' names won't be revealed in the manga, so I've included them here. And regarding the lineage of Ushimaru, I'm not sure whether I'll draw more or hide it. So let's end the discussion here. They really do look alike. So Oda there providing both answers as well as more questions. So many more questions. He does confirm that Ushimaru is not the father of Zoro, but he doesn't rule out the fact that the two may still be related in some sort of relatable way. However, the way it seems is that Oda had originally planned to expand on Zoro's connection to the Shimotsuki clan, but just like a sudden session of unplanned intercourse, over time Oda has had to pull out. And it may be because he never intended for Zoro to be a blood relative of the Shimotsuki clan, and what's going on with the visual similarities is more akin to how young Roger looks almost exactly like Luffy, despite their lack of any sort of blood connection, with their visual depiction signifying more of the inherited will. And in that case, I can see why having Onimaru recognize Zoro would be quite counterproductive, because it would only reinforce that family connection in the minds of readers. But at the same time, if you didn't want that, then why did you make Ushimaru look like Zoro in the first place, and it just becomes a big convoluted mess. It's almost as if Oda is trying to keep things open-ended. Zoro could be related to Ushimaru, or he could just be a random child from the land of random children. It seems like Oda is leaving it up to your own personal interpretation, because in the end, Zoro himself probably doesn't care too much about his own heritage, so why should we? Here is something that we should care about though. Question: if Killer didn't eat a defective smile fruit, what would he look like? And this is probably one of the best images I've ever seen in my entire life, so here is Smile Killer. It looks like he would have become an elephant smile user, with his head becoming a trunk, or like a tip of a trunk, but still being able to wield his blades with his arms, or arms singular, that are not elephant arms. And remember, this is a smile, so this transformation would have been permanent. Smile users cannot transform at all. So I think what Oda might be trying to hilariously say here is that it's almost certainly a good thing that Killer's smile fruit was defective, because a lifetime of laughter is almost certainly better than a lifetime of whatever this is. It's actually a really tough would you rather. Would you rather be cursed to smile for the rest of your life? Or would you rather become an elephant trunk? I don't know. Question: what would Frankie look like at age 50 and age 70? Alright, this is my favorite part of every SBS segment, and as per usual, we have a good timeline Frankie and a bad timeline Frankie. Starting with the good, a level 50 Frankie just looks like a more grizzled version of what he already is. And what he's saying is, it's cold, I'll add heating to this island. And I don't want to read too much into this, but I'm going to anyway, because this might be implying that an older Frankie returned to the snowy Karakuri Island, which is where he spent 2 years during the time skip. Meanwhile, 70-year-old Frankie just looks like the coolest old man who has ever existed, and he's saying, I fixed your bike, but I added a cannon. That was the good, but now for the best part, which is of course the bad. In the scary alternate universe where things don't go so well for Frankie, by age 50 he seems to have lost all of his humanity, embracing a full-on mecha lifestyle. His eyes are cold and blank, and he's purposely covering up his mouth so as to convey as little emotion as possible, which is also reflected in what he's saying, which is, I'm the robot who will destroy all the ships in the world. But it gets so much worse, and in fact this is probably the worst alternate timeline fate that we've seen so far, because at age 70 Frankie has become a battleship, Battle Frankie 70 to be precise, and what I love about it is that you can see his face as a literal figurehead, with a callback to Frankie's Canon Dressrosa hairstyle. But yeah, in this world Frankie loses even the shell of his humanity, and all he's saying is, I am the battleship Frankie, in that specific robot-y sort of way. So a pretty dark fate there, at least compared to all the other Straw Hats who so far have remained human. Even Chopper, who is literally a reindeer. But our next question gets a bit more meta, because a reader asked Oda if he watches any One Piece YouTube channels, which is what this channel is, and that's exciting because Oda said, I know they exist and I've actually watched a number of them. I'm surprised, everyone is really knowledgeable, and the theories, they actually predict the future of the story, so I need to stop watching them, lol. It's dangerous for me to consider all of my readers to be at that level. After all, there are plenty of casual readers too. I need to draw One Piece so it can be enjoyed by anyone. Seeing people like this that understand things so well will corrupt me, lol. I'll start thinking along the lines of, I don't have to explain stuff here, they'll get it. So yeah, I won't be checking anyone out, so just get along and enjoy. And before anyone gets excited, I highly doubt that Oda is talking about this or in fact any other English-speaking channel. What I love here is the general message though, because it's the sort of thing that I try to practice on Grand Line Review. I think there are a lot of channels out there that get caught up in only catering for a very niche segment of fans, and that they often neglect more casual readers or watchers, which is unfortunate because those casual fans make up the vast vast majority of fans. So Oda is quite rightfully more focused on making One Piece a story that everyone can enjoy, and sometimes that means making decisions that the hardcore fans kind of scoff at and complain about, and complain at great length about. But here's the kind of unfortunate truth about One Piece though, because in reality, the series isn't actually made for people like me, or any of the hardcore analists who live and breathe this series. The core audience is your casual Japanese teenager picking up a copy of Weekly Shonen Jump and reading it before, after, or maybe even during school if they can get away with it. Because One Piece is one of, if not the best shonen that has ever been put to page, but that doesn't change the fact that it is what it is. And there is nothing at all that Japanese teens love more than chicken butts. Question: how does King eat? So due to the whole mask business, in order to eat, King actually has to activate part of his pteranodon form, taking in food with his beak and then quickly transforming back to chew and swallow said food, which seems like quite the painful process. You'd think he might have more of a Katakuri style system where he just isolates himself for all meals so that he can take off his mask and enjoy some delicious forbidden donuts. Or I guess in the case of King, delicious forbidden oshiroko, or I don't know, what is King's favorite food? What do gimps eat? It's probably those funky rubber balls. And now, more stupid questions. In the previous SBS, Oda was asked to draw Kaido's club in anthropomorphic form. So following suit in volume 101, he was asked to draw Yamato's club. And here he is in all of his clubby glory. And his name is Takeru, which is actually surprisingly relevant because the club is named after Yamato Takeru, a figure said to be semi-legendary and traditionally recognized as the 12th emperor of Japan. And when we look at paintings of Takeru, we can see that a lot of Yamato's color scheme and even costume design elements come directly from this semi-legendary figure. Colors especially though being predominantly white but incorporating shades of blue, aqua, and a powerful vibrant red. But Takeru in club form is of course significantly less flattering, or maybe even more flattering. I mean, I suppose if you're into hairy old frogmen, then this is probably quite appealing. But if you're into literally anything else, then click this next video, because remember, if you don't click it, that means that you are into frog dudes, so just make the right choice.